I realize my post about asking men for help in joining the feminist cause may have come across a little manipulatively, and for that I apologize. I was making somewhat of a sassy implication that it would be sexually beneficial to do so, and that might have been in poor taste. Although I got some positive feedback from that post, primarily it was an angry one, and many men gave me a piece of their mind and their experience of the abuse of women in their lives. So I wanted to address that. In my comments, I see men are angry and I see them bleeding, even though it comes across as like direct attacks at me. And even though I feel like it might be slightly misdirected, I still see it as a valid position. Even if it's diametrically opposed to what I'm trying to say, even if they're yelling at me through the screen, it's still valid because that's how they feel and that's what their experience is. And that needs to be acknowledged as if it is very real to them. I'm reading this book that describes different mating and bonding patterns back in the days of Vikings up until contemporary Tinder days. Mads Larsen talks about having been faced with pressures, men evolved to view women more as sex objects and women view men as resource providers. In a section where he's discussing women's sexual power being used against men, he writes, "The women see no greater humanity in the men they ensnare, mock, and laugh at than the Vikings saw in the women they sexually assaulted. And that sometimes the women are ideologically justified, using women's power, as an advantage to exploit members of the opposite sex." So I'm going to start talking about that. And I don't want to paint us as the only victims. We are all stuck in this matrix together, and it's a matrix I hope to escape together. I'm not a separatist. I love men in the way that men love women, and we need to get back to that.